seen it yet.
That's why.
No, that's not it. Hold on. I promise you I won't argue with you, but that's not the point. There's a point of CCTV that is hidden. There's another point that is not hidden. Let me put it this way. Why do people get in front of our house? And in public places, I hope you know that there's a policy of CCTV. Are you all aware? But there's another part of it that my team will, take you through and help you see why that observation should have indicated some level of deterrence. Because in security, there's deterrence. You don't always want to react to security. You also want to do something. There's a saying, now prevention is better than what? I'll rather prevent you from even touching a child's hand in this school than having a solution to the hostile environment. And the goal is about awareness, preparedness, and response. That's the goal of the conversation here. Awareness, you need to know. Preparedness, what are the protocols that you need to have in place? Because security is about avoid, deny, and defend. Which means stay alert and stay away from danger before deny. If danger is near, deny its access. In Lagos State, is danger near?
Yes.
Is danger near?
Yes.
Has kidnapping got into the southwest? Yes. That growth tells us that gradually it's going to come to the economic center of Lagos State. Is that correct? Because if the security forces have not dealt with it in the background, it is giving these criminals the go ahead to even test the boundaries. And boundary testing is a standard human practice. We all test boundaries, true or false. So how much? 29. The next time, that's how much. It's why in the early stages of marriage, the woman will give the husband money thinking he will pay back. But if he doesn't pay back by the 10th year of that marriage, every time the woman borrows the money, she gives the man money, she says it's for cooperative society. Because at that moment, she's willing to put measures. That's what schools need to do. So it's growing. So don't be surprised, and I don't pray that anyone of us should not be part of it. In fact, I don't think we should even pray that anybody's child should be involved. I heard of a school where somebody went to, that was sometime last day, a madman entered the school, took axe and axed the head of 2 children. Whether we like it or not, that is like a year plus. Somebody is still grieving a loss. It's terrible. Alright, so this is the whole essence of heat that we're looking at here. Before it happens, daily situational awareness for staff. First, you know all the exit routes, I mean. What if that exit route is blocked? If there are 5 exit routes, what if those exit routes are blocked? Does the school, this question just say yes or no, because I mean, we are not going to the depth of it. Does the school have for emergency situations where if there are just 3 exit routes and whatever situational problem is happening, those routes are blocked, is there a protocol to govern it? So for instance, when you're dealing with the governor of Lagos, it is what you of that scene that you will never see. Pretty much like this CCTV. That's why I said there are 2 aspects of CCTV that you will need to deploy. There's another member of the security team, you don't see them. Let's even use the presidency. I think that's where it's heightened the most. You don't see them. They're not convoy, but they are somewhere waiting. Another convoy waiting for the presidency. It is not on any paper. Even the security detail that will follow the president, they are not even aware that that thing exists. Only 2 people on the security detail of the president are aware that there's another backup route. The moment there's a crisis, what happens is they have protocol in place to deal with that crisis. But when the crisis gets to the convoy of the president and the president's life is rated high, that's the danger level rated high, they instantly deploy that next one. And you will not know that it exists. And it involves a whole lot of other things. This is a question I'm asking in this place, alright? But the first question is this: if we all know that there's an evacuation route, the second one is that classroom doors, are they functional? I think that's the question. Right? Do they have their lock and key, or is it the open and enter without any lock and key? Again, I'm not here to attack the school. I'm just giving general conversations because a lot of schools don't even have doors. True or false? True. They have them. And it's not because they can't afford those doors. I mean, we're not going to schools now. Door is not necessary, but your classroom is a safety net. Because anyone who is going to come to this place to cause any havoc only knows as much information as they have gathered from you. If the school has a protocol to prevent people from unauthorized access, then it means whoever wants to gain access here has either collided with someone here to give them blueprint pictures of what's going on in this place, all right, and show them all of the routes, or they just like, you will say yes, please say yes.
Yes.
No, you have to say yes. I'm a father, this has been my kids here. You have to tell me yes, all right. But would you know when a student is absent without checking out a roster? Yes. Yes, you must have that yes regularly, yes. All right. I wish students were here would have done a drill to test this. Your cognitive functions are not relating with you the way it will relate with you during safety. There is a flight. This school has trained their staff, and I know this training over here. Depending on how we train our staff, you must train your staff and your people to have a fight response. Am I communicating? A fight response is the response you give in a situation so that their brain is able to put. And I'll give an example. If there's a fire incident in our house, we all have a flight and fight response, not freeze. The fight response is if you have a child and the child is maybe a toddler, a baby. Do you know that this child represents your, and it's not emotional, it's a protocol response that God puts in ourselves. The same way Jesus Christ died, it's a protocol response. It's the same response you must have here. The mind must be your seed. Teacher, am I coming to Nigeria? Man no man syndrome. So somebody in this place, and that's why I'm telling you, the higher and more influential the person is within the school, the more risky that person is. The wonderful lady that brought us to this place, she entered this place. Do you know that's a risk? The risk is you think you trust her because she's who she is. Somebody else will bring somebody within the sphere of, there must be a protocol that says, how do we, and it's not, it doesn't end at that gate. Because that gate can be compromised. Do we agree with that? Yes. I love disagreements. We all agree on it? Yes. Where there's no financial inducement, there are other kinds of inducements that plays out. I give an example. The young lady who is not married, 30-year-old, the marriage, she meets a guy who wants to attend to school. The guy makes her fall in love. Do you know that for that lady, money is not an inducement? Love is an inducement. For the man who's at the gates, his children may have been kidnapped, and the goal of that kidnapping is to enter the school. They don't be safe. He has been compromised, true or false. So you can't have one person become the security architecture and protocol of your school, and that is what makes security unique. Am I communicating? I won't need to push so much on the students, but I will say this very quickly. Know at least 2 ways out of every classroom and assembly point. I don't know how this barricade. It wasn't an escape route, we just discovered it ourselves. But even if there is just one route, there must be protocol, and the students must be taken through that protocol. Right now, I'm trying to impress anybody. I don't really overtaking. I still want to hear some people I give me, okay. I'm young, but I'm not ready for that one. But I wanted to touch on the reason I'm not here. Tell a teacher immediately if something feels wrong. And the reason I want to touch on this is this. Please have an open door. You need to allow this to there's a stress that happens internally. And usually is a rape case, is sexual harassment. Problem before the thing gets to the next level. It is when the young lady comes and says, Uncle, Auntie, I don't know what they call you there, I hope it's not master, or whatever name they call you here, they say, John, don't touch my neck. Alright? Why is John touching? Or, I saw John, it's not as simple as I saw John looking under the chair. Why was John looking under the chair? From that moment, he started investigating. Because the moment you can ascertain why John is doing that, you will begin to get enough data to deal with the problem. And don't hold back information. Today's not the day to teach you what's called. Information must be shared across all the relevant authorities in the school. This situation was observed, it's not a problem, but we discovered that there's this boy that has 5 girlfriends. And you just think that, oh, they are young, they are not young to have girlfriends. Teachers even know that this is happening. Because should that boy pinch somebody's ears and they were playing, but the pinching was hard. That child will be coming from the home where there's violence. You've gotten pinch someone's head, man, big pinch someone's head, and it's paining the young lady. And you tell people, it's still going to come. Offended big pay, and the last 10 situations I read about big pay is that anytime she gets angry, she does something. The day you hear that someone has offended her, what will you do? Your antenna will rise. What can I do to prevent big pay from doing anything bad? Because the day it will escalate, sure. Am I communicating? Okay. I'm trying to be that persons. Anybody you don't know is a risk, including me and my colleagues. Find out what your problem is and solve that problem. For somebody else, it may be a house. For somebody else, money. For somebody else, love. I need to strike. And that's very, very important. The next one is suspicious vehicles. I don't think people allow vehicles come to this place. But when you see suspicious vehicles, there was a day I passed in front of this place and I stood in front of the school and I was impressed. And I came to the school, I was impressed. I saw people looking. This guy can come. And I agree with their reasons for what you do. My presence in front of a compound that I have at a mango that is so ripe, you think that the mango and the you have to pay. Don't treat any information as casual. Do not treat any information as casual. There was a teacher that stole another teacher's money. You say, that's what she did do, they'll be friends. My kids come to the school. Okay, breach security, damage fencing. Do we have anything like that to push us to dig deep? It's possible that someone has done something and has a control room. Do we have a control room? Yes. Who has access to that control room? Who is that control room? He's in the and the policy states I can't enter there. Nothing should ever let me enter that place. The day I enter, a compromise has happened. Please, are you rubbish? Because familiarity is the beginning of security breaches. So when I talk about that friends, I'm not saying if they really know. Is it one person that is doing that check? And if so, what protocols have you put in place? I give a personal. It was so bad. It is exactly as they say it should be. So, an example is who checks the logs of the offices and the school to make sure that those logs and offices. And the person that is a manager, but somebody. Job is to help me make sure that this man has done his job. Am I communicating? Yes. And this is where Halogen comes into play. We can assist your business school. We did that. You have this problem, you have a signal is giving. Now, Amrovas are here, they are coming to schools. Imagine there's this story, I don't know where I tried, I never saw it, but you go to Lagos. Don't doubt security problems. When you get it, then they keep person for there. My brother, run first before you verify. So, who smokes in this place? You all failed my best test. Do not trust. You are not meant. Ask the person again. I love them. Assign that role to somebody you don't have a protocol. And that role simply going down to come on that day. Who feels in that? Who should fight? When this fight there doesn't mean physical hitting and fighting and punching, it may be intruder is always prepared for. Imagine you slap your child. I'm married to your husband for 20 years. I've been doing this. What is the minimum response in a fight situation? And there is a minimum response. But maybe I should add here, it's not within my brief to discuss also that. So I have ergonomic moments. An accountability plan. How do you reunite? Is there any for the founder, the head of the school? Because, okay, incident reporting, you already said you have that. Notify authorities and parents. I'm sure there's a process reacting because you are touching what is there. Say, in the last 1 month, these are the incidents that have happened in the school. So that there were 6. Do we have that phone number? And do all teachers have that phone number? Security desk. Do we have that number? Very important. So can you see that I'm already exposing to your school? Okay. Look, so usually it should be like a teacher to the chairman of the PTA. I'm sure there's that person already. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Then of course, don't let me spend too much time on how. Let me give you a quick example about home security. It is strange, but nice to have. And a 10-year-old girl, you'll be amazed at what they are doing. So if you want to protect your house, one of the things you must have is business in the house that key has been taken. Did I just communicate? So an example is, do you know what time to ensure that no other person is there? Have a friend in this house. But let me also add, in your presence, can they have friends? The answer should be yes. If you have a presence and absence space. Alright, if you have those protocols, the next ritual for protocols. No, that's true. We are too spiritual for protocols, okay? It's important to sit them down, permitting to add the fire incidents in the house. Do your children know how to operate do they know how to use it? 2005, gathered them together and said, oh yeah, start to quench this fire and watch them. You'll be shocked that that's preventing from burning your landlord's house.
But issues in Nigeria, Halogen has taken the initiative to create a checklist that has been put as a roadmap to help schools. Now, this checklist is not created so that you can have a implement different structures to help have is that when you're building a home, the most important part of a home standard. That's what the must have is. It is non-negotiable. These are things that every school should have. But it's something that every school should work towards in the near. So many hours of security guards work over here. 2-4-7. They don't sleep. So the next thing that and based on what our madam will have a monitored CCTV screen, a control GPS tracking on all school buses. Also have photo ID cards for all students, working on communication lines with the police, which is very important as Mr. System that we already that's because you cook for your children. That should have things that are very important that you must also have, but they are not check for out and ensure that you are not a risk to the children in the school already. Also have a coordination arrangement with local police, regular emergency drills, lockdown fire and intruder alarm drills for staff and students regularly, secure hostel doors if this is a boarding school, access control for vehicles entering, logbook and all vehicles in and out, training focal and safety officers responsible for security coordination and incident. There's an incident. We also have clear visitor management policy. No unescorted visitors beyond the reception, just like what Mr. Charles shared with us earlier. Now, to be nice to have things are things that would be nice to have. How wonderful it would be to have a swimming pool in my house. But then, for this situation, we'll talk about electronic or biometric access control. Oh, how wonderful it would be if our children can check in with their thumbprints whenever they come in. We also have quick response electric fence. It is not a necessity, but it's something that would be nice to have because it elevates our security level. We also have two-way radios for guards and senior staff so that people at the door can easily then go out. Imagine I want to bring somebody in and I have to first of all go inside, go upstairs, then because we are just next to you. Now, these things are important to have. We are, but it's also to ensure a safe, secure, and
primary school does not know of your, when people come in on certain emergency, this is where it's located. The drill now, there's 100%. Why? Because some people don't know and they don't know where the meeting point is. And again, because there are two schools, and myself and my colleagues will act as the intruders. Do you know where to hide?
Yes.
Look at, you know. Also, where is he?
At the gate.
Doesn't know. Sir, is the end of security? Is it the only one? Sir, is it the only one? Please come, sir. Again, please, I am not here to, let me go up this thing. I am not here to embarrass anybody. I hope you understand that. Come and start from the class. You face the screen. Face the screen, sir. Please come, sir. It's not embarrassment. So you see, I'm not here to, yes. It's possible. Because there's primary school, but it should be impossible not to know the names of 20 people that are in this view. But there's one question that you have an answer to. How many people are in this video right now, this place right now?
I don't know.
Okay?
I can't tell you.
Alright? Not to be fair again. Because we are professionals, we came ready with our questions. You don't know our questions, huh? Yeah. I'm saying so because please, it shouldn't cost anybody any job issues when we're done. We are about 80. So if there's a security problem, we're in trouble. Again, this is not meant for house that says that when 10 people come to the house, 5 to sleep in the living room, our error value is very far. They are coming. Let's do this. I'm going to come to 2 here, and in 60 seconds, if I can find you, you are the person that would like to be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Stop! Wherever you are, stop. Don't move. Stand still. Please, man. Once you go there, point at anybody can find in 60 seconds is a risk. 1, 2, just touch them. 3, 4, 5. Please don't move. It's just a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, leave those ones. I think they are solving the problem. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. How many of you knew where you were running to when you were running? You knew where you knew where you were going to, and they still found you just. So listen, it's not 20 seconds actually. It's 60 seconds. I made it shorter. Everybody can come back now. Those of you that didn't die. Let's celebrate them. Oh, this was our life. Oh, this one's alive. Oh, beautiful. The bodies are gone.
I'm alive.
We should suspend the head teacher. What? The way she runs to go and hide. And she's the last to come out. I'm very careful. I'm not a Christian. I'm careful of words. Even in a training situation, none of us will die in Jesus' name. But please, let's. You can't see it, thank you, man. I would have said cancel this anyway, none of us will die. Because I know that the guy doesn't have respect for our words. He just takes anyone and uses it. But please, I want to make us that. be ready, be prepared for it. Alright? Permit me, because I heard you praying. I think it's somewhere in the book of Luke. The Bible says that the people crushed around him. He told the disciples, it's written exactly what I'm saying. He told the disciples, get me a boat that I may stand on. And he added, lest the people crush me to death. I mean, this is someone that he himself said, you can't kill me. I will lay down my life. He's the one that said, don't let them kill me. Let me find a place to stand. So, being spiritual is good. Being prepared is the added advantage to being spiritual. So we must have, we didn't come here to give you protocols, we came to give you awareness training. Well, Halogen can offer you services. Alright, we can do a comprehensive risk assessment that will help you check the vulnerabilities of the school to see holistically. So, like I said, don't trust. Alright, we also do it for homes, we do it for estates. So if you want to introduce us to your estates, alright, so recently there was one event that happened in Banana Island where somebody was resident and was stealing. They were about to take us out of the thing before we told them our protocols are tight. If something is happening, it's happening inside the estate, and you didn't give us permission to be. That's why we had to go back to Banana Island to go and get comprehensive. And guess what? With our recommendations, they're going to put a lot of things in place. Alright, because the strength of security is trust. So the strength of insecurity is trust. And that's why betrayals happen only with the people that are closest to you. You can't be betrayed by someone that is far. A man's enemy shall be members of his own household. And it is not always the person who is the enemy's enemy. They will do it casually and gently. Alright? That's why by the time you have all of that, and we are able to assist you in looking at all of these things, it will help you tremendously. Even our checklist that we gave to you, we are going to share to the school all for free. But we can assist you in dealing with the responses and the things that you need to deploy your CCTV. Where do you actually put it? Did you get a security expert that came to assist you in installing all of these things? These lockdown procedures, do you know what? We can assist you in pointing where to hide, what the response should look like, how you should run, how you should do this. We can assist you with self-defense mechanisms, alright? That helps you understand what you need to do. You don't need to have the power to do it, you just need to know how to respond in that situation. Alright, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Alright, so very much authority, and we're looking forward to hearing from you people again to further the conversation to a more detailed level. I hear that there are opportunities that are available to us, and please introduce us to other schools and let them know we can do this for them, and there are other benefits.
First off, I want to appreciate this lecture. It's been very, very inspiring and meaningful for questioning your authenticity. Now, you said that we should be first, right? Now, Halogen is offering a service to validate or do a risk assessment. Or why should any school open its vulnerability and discover some loopholes? Before we take any actions, how are we sure?
Can I take it one? The answer is very straightforward. Your house, not your house. There's something called brand reputational risk. Halogen is a business with a concern for profit. Our reputation is everything to us. We can't sell business like KPMG, no PwC. How do you know that they will not expose books inside trading? It's about brand. We start the next 10 years or 20 years of security no preaching. We will sell this school without your permission. We'll tell our owners happened in the last 10 years. It's part of our bragging rights. So we will not permit you to fail because we must brag about this school. So Halogen was something like it. There is always going to be risk in everything. Sometimes what you must focus on is robberies, and within our own system, there are protocols in place. So I can promise you that whatever security people get here, with a staff strength of over 22,000 Halogen, with a staff strength of over 22,000 Halogen, there will be more than 5 people that will happen. And by the grace of God, I am the head of the advisory, consulting, and education part. Myself and the director of the Center of Excellence, and one other person that the owner of the blueprint of this school. So should an incident happen, you know what? We will also be part of the first people that will check. Who else has access to this information, especially with kind of deployment and energy. So I'm saying this, assuming that you won't get that report. In this, if you send that report to this, maybe about to whatever level I want, you'll be surprised how much information is left behind that you don't know is left behind. Your phone is your enemy. Your AI is your enemy. That's what it's doing. We won't tell you. You'll just know that this is the report. This is what we are recommending. The decision is left to your school to determine if you are going to recommend follow that recommendation.
Standing on education, we have really learned something about the security, the self-aware of the administration.
Security situation in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
We've heard about the Chibok schools.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the first.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask, in such a situation, how can we respond without arms? Because they are complex situations where they come with arms.
We can't learn that in an awareness training. And that's why I showed you some things I showed you. There needs to be, for instance, evacuation protocol, lockdown protocol. You want to respond to people with guns, you can't. Remember where I started from? There is a wrong focus on that one. Let's focus on lockdown procedures. If there's a security situation, an emergency situation in this school, what do you do? That is a protocol we write for you. Nuances and the complexity. This is how Halogen believes that you should respond to a crisis that's happening outside. We will not give you a response that says go to them. We will give you a response that says secure yourself and be safe. This school is not safe. Do you have a security team or do you have a receptionist desk that looks like security? You have to be honest with yourself about that person. You enter this place. You enter this place. When you were coming in, what did you tell them? And what happened? So right, your job will be on the line. Everybody's job will be on the line. So that's not the goal. The goal is to say it must never happen again. So you can't even Halogen does have the protocol to make sure that Halogen has mobile services, armed men. I'm sure if you read what movie said, you will see that it's always at the end of a problem that their police comes. Don't be deceived though, that's why it is in a get response, come and deal with that problem. If you call 112, the first thing they'll tell you, if you are not talking to the sensible ones, I'm telling you they'll do that.